Yes, tradies, welcome back. It is Mitchell's favourite segment. It's the one that he came up with. It's called Just Quickly, where we get to hear from you, and we're here for 7-Eleven's food on the go lunchtime offers, which are flying at the door after our recent ad, which is going to get us a movie deal, no doubt, with the Hemsworths. Jesse, you're first.
Lads, hope you're well. Great start to the year. Jesse here from Geelong, Premiership teammate, the great man, Mitch Cleary.
Wow.
Just wanted to give a little insight into what Mitch was like to play with. I had heard that he believes he had white line fever. That's hard to imagine when you've got a nickname of Silk, so probably argue against that. But yeah, Silk for a reason. Classy ball user, smooth mover.
Wow.
Premiership captain.
Wow.
So whose leadership. And yeah, distinctly remember that year, battling an injury, got back for finals and captained the Premiership team. So while no white line fever, Silk was definitely warranted. Shout out to Benny Ray as well, doing some great things.
So that's the St Mary's Footy Club. Benny Ray's got a job.
Silk.
I'm not sweating up here because of the voice memo. It's because of how hot the studio is.
It's very hot in here. Silk.
Yeah.
Premiership captain. Oh, You didn't tell me any of this.
No, we don't want to talk about this on the show.
I see. Unfortunately, Jesse, you didn't say just quickly, so we're going to have to disregard all comments. No, very nice. I like hearing about the footy career of my co-host. If anyone else has played footy for or against Silk,
Jesse
please.
actually went on to play some really good VFL footy for Geelong.
Did he?
Yeah.
Please voice memo in. Thank you, Jesse, for that insight. Edward.
Hey boys, just quickly. I'm a big Adelaide Crows fan and live in Adelaide. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on why when a big A-grader name comes up, it's always to move to another Melbourne team, unless the drawing card is back to SA, back home. Is Adelaide always going to be ruled out of getting a potential A-grader from another big club? Thanks.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good. So I think what Edward's saying is that when a big player comes up who's not from SA or Victoria, why does it always... Yeah.
TDK.
Yeah, why aren't the
Chad
Crows...
Warner.
Yeah. Well, it's probably multifaceted. Melbourne's bigger. There's more options. It's probably more desirable to live in Melbourne than Adelaide for people that are from Melbourne. And then by the same token, getting South Australians back home where they have family is probably easier for Port Adelaide and Adelaide. The Adelaide clubs will always be up against it, say for LDU, who's a Victorian, to try to drag him to SA, which is why, Brisbane getting Lachie Neale, who's from rural SA, was such a big deal. So it does happen, Edward, but it's just harder.
Players at the end of the day are loyal. So largely when they don't want to stick at their original club, it's mostly for family or for personal reasons to go back home. So as you say, with Lachie Neale, it's rare. I'm just thinking of some recent guys into SA. Neil Bullen goes back for family reasons. Peatling, not necessarily family reasons, but opportunity, and the offer was really strong from the Crows. Ratugolea was opportunity at the Power too, and the offer was too hard to ignore. So players are loyal. They're more likely to go home. And unless it's a really good offer and opportunity, I think it's unfortunate just the way it's going to be.
Thanks, Edward. Griff.
Hey boys, hope you're well. Just quickly, with Andy Brayshaw re-signing during the week, it got me thinking, how much time would be spent during contract negotiations discussing the potential of other high-end talent joining the footy club? And that being a huge catalyst why Brayshaw and his management should be convinced to take less than his market value, because the club sees itself positioned in a way where it could land Cozzy Pickett or Chad Warner, possibly both, over the next 12 to 24 months. Would Brayshaw and his management sort of welcome a discussion like that with open arms, or are they just in the business because they want to squeeze out as many clams as possible out of a situation like this where the club doesn't want to lose Brayshaw? Cheers.
It's a really good question, and that's why having connected player managers is really strong in this space, because you can get a read on where the industry is going and what might be happening in this space. So it's a really good point. Everyone talks about players taking less. Jacob Wiedering said he took less because he wants to keep the Blues list together. Geelong players have spoken about it in the past. I dare say Andy has knocked back hundreds, if not $1 million, to stay at the Dockers as to what he could have got back home here in Victoria.
Particularly at the Saints from his old mate Ross Lyon.
Yeah. But he's got to play. He's fell in love with the Dockers. His partner's there. They've found a home there. in the West, so it just makes sense.
Good question, Griff.
Yeah.
Riley.
Now, your man, Sam, Mason Cox, when he's out of the Collingwood team, they're a totally different side. Across the last 3 seasons, Mason Cox has 40 wins and 12 losses to his name. In that time, Collingwood are 46 and 21, meaning when Cox doesn't play, Collingwood are 6 wins and 9 losses. Anyone that says Cox isn't best 22 material is ridiculous. Collingwood did not look like being able to move the ball from defence to attack with a slow play down the line. You need his presence there to clunk it or at least get the ball to ground.
It's just lovely when I hear...
You've set that up.
When we've got listeners that actually watch the games. That's the best thing for me. People that actually watch. I know that there is this thought that I have an unhealthy obsession with Mason Cox. And maybe that's partly true. But
He does help them with the second ruck. Don't forget, when they won the flag, he was the number 1 ruck in that final series.
yeah,
I'm not anti-Mason Cox. I just think there's more important
You're
players.
anti-Cox.
No, there's more important players at the Pies.
He's one of the most important. Dacos, DeGoey, Cox. Thank you, Riley. Finally, Liam.
Hey boys, just quickly, potentially for a bit of cross promotion with your 7-Eleven sponsorship, can we get a list of who is going to finish between 7th and 11th on the ladder this year, or potentially who your top 7 through 11 players in the comp are right now? Cheers, boys.
Oh, 7 and 11. I like it.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Good.
It's good.
Yes, we can. We could go through. We could go through ladders. Have you done your ladder?
No, I don't actually have to do one this year. I don't
Can you do
rush to do one for next week.
Yeah, for next
Okay.
week. Can you do your ladder?
I'll have the beauty of having watched 9 plus 11 games of footy.
Yep. You
Okay.
do it,
I'll happily take that
and
on.
we'll compare to my preseason ladder.
Okay.
And then we'll go through our 7 to 11s.
Yep.
Happy with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. It was just quickly. We'll see you next week.